Welcome to Michael's Mailbox. Hey everyone, it's Joe and
Michael
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. We haven't done a mailbox in
3 weeks or so.
Yeah, been a little busy.
Yeah, been a little busy.
It's been a strange time.
It absolutely has. It was pretty chaotic with lockdown, but we are now, as of today, officially out of lockdown.
And how busy has the store been?
It's been insane. We've been trying to do this video since before 9 o'clock and it's now after 3 o'clock.
There we go.
So, yeah, it's been great.
And what's Michael's mailbox?
So today, what we do with Michael's mailbox is we just skim read some comments that have been made in previous videos that we've released, and we make comment on them, particularly if it would be a longer comment. So it saves us typing them out, and we still touch base with everyone.
All right, let's do it. What do we got?
So we've got one from a number of weeks ago, where I'll start, and this is...
What video is that one?
Well, that's what I'm looking for. It doesn't give me the video name. I'll change pages. How does Bullion Now make money? That was the one where we discussed how Bullion Now and most, or a lot of, I should say, bullion dealers don't particularly care what happens with spot because we hedge or we buy and sell almost at the same time or as close to the same time as we can get. Mm-hmm. So seemed like a lot of people actually were glad that we'd done it. It revealed a little bit of some of the hidden information on bullion dealers, which is good. It's good to know how your bullion dealer is working. Somebody's asking here which gold is better to buy for investments or saving, 22 or 24 carat. I don't like using the term carat because 24 carat isn't actually necessarily pure gold. It's a range, a percentage range. So in Australia particularly we use percentages with bullion rather than carats. But essentially what they're referring to is whether a pure bar of gold like this would be, where it's 99.99, or something like a sovereign, which I don't actually have on my desk at the moment, which is 22 carat, 91.67% gold. It doesn't matter particularly. Gold is gold to a large degree. The downside in this country, though, in Australia, is if it's not pure, you're going to pay GST on it. So the goods and services tax. So that increases your cost price on a 22 carat coin by 10% immediately above what the equivalent in a pure bar would be. So in Australia it's not so good, but in other places in the world it really doesn't matter that much which way you go.
And who commented that? Who was that?
I can't pronounce it.
Okay. No,
which is why I didn't do it.
That's why you didn't say it. Okay.
So John Sanford, one advantage that bullion dealers have over most other retail businesses is that your product doesn't rot or otherwise depreciate. That's 100% true. And in fact, to a large degree, the longer we hold stock, like when we find stock at the back of the safe, like those mice that we released recently, they actually go up in price because now they're collectors, they're vintage stock, that type of thing. So we have a double advantage. It doesn't go off, and in fact it actually increases in price, which is great.
Not that we deliberately hold stock back. No.
Because like we said in the video, bullion dealers make their money out of turnover. So our objective is to turn over as rapidly as we possibly can. We definitely don't want to be sitting on stock. It's only those occasional times where we clear things out of the back of the safe and go,
Like the giant stock take that happened.
Yeah, that's right. We found all sorts of things we didn't know we had, which sounds terrible, but it's the way it goes. Dios Bananos. I apologise if I got that wrong. I've heard that bullion dealers make very little money from standard bullion. The profit is more in collectibles and numismatics. That's exactly right. So as a bullion dealer, we turn over as quick as we can. The numismatic side, the collectible side, where we might be working on a 1 to 2% margin, they'll be working on 50 to 100% margin at times. In fact, it can go up into the thousands of percentage of margins depending on the type of coin or collectible you're looking at. Always pay cash, credit card fees eat into margins, and that's exactly right. Matt Anderson made that comment. To a point where at Bullion Now we don't accept cards at this stage. We haven't for a while. We may in the future, I don't know. But the premium correction, the charges on it was just too great, and it was hammering into our margins. So rather than putting our prices up, we actually got rid of the credit card facility. Very informative. Excellent. I'm glad people found it informative. That was really good. Charles Morris has asked a great question, which I don't know how much of it I'm going to touch. I don't know if Bullion Now has discussed tax implications in a video. This is more an Australian thing, although it will carry a little bit worldwide. How many dealers tell you that capital gains tax is payable on all bullion? There's always a little bit of confusion, and Charles has used it correctly here, capital gains tax, but in Australia there's always a bit of confusion between capital gains tax and goods and services tax and which applies. So goods and services tax, our GST in this country, does not apply to pure bullion, whether it's gold or silver. I know in places like the UK, VAT applies, which is similar to our GST, applies on silver but doesn't apply on gold. We only incur GST in Australia if you have something less than pure. So, as I said a little while ago, the sovereigns, they're not pure, so they incur GST. Or if it's being specially treated, so if it's a proof coin, if it's a pied foot coin, those types of things, they actually can incur GST.
It does on all palladium though.
Palladium and rhodium actually both incur GST. Now, capital gains tax, CGT, this one's really, I don't want to go too far out there. I'm not your accountant. I'm not your financial advisor. The tax department would tell you that you've made a capital gain. If you have made a capital gain, therefore, you should declare it on your tax return. We, as a shop, are not under any obligation to advise the tax department. In fact, we have no contact. We don't report any invoicing or anything like that to the tax department. Obviously, we lodge our end of year statement for us to pay tax. But it's not like we say, you know, Bill Smith purchased 5 kilos of gold through us this year and he bought it at this price and sold it at that price. We don't do anything along those sort of lines. There is no requirement for that. So from that perspective, you know, the capital gains tax is nothing to do with us. My strong suggestion is you talk to your tax advisor on it. But equally, people seem scared of paying capital gains tax on something. Don't forget, you can also claim a capital loss if you make a loss on it at any time. So that's the other thing to talk to your accountant about.
Would we make mention of, and again, you do speak to your accountant about the holding for longer than a year thing?
Again, talk to your accountant, but like any investment in Australia at this point, my understanding, again, this is not financial advice, my understanding is that the capital gains tax is reduced if you hold an investment for more than 12 months.
Yep. So,
and that would apply to precious metals as well. Yeah, not going to touch that one. Yeah, skimming through. This is one that I saw. Stafford Lumsden. I have some questions that might be for Michael's mailbag. What's the history of Bullion Now? When did you start? Were you always in central Melbourne? What is it like in the good old days? And did you sell numismatics first or went straight into bullion? Great questions. So Bullion Now actually grew out of a company called Little Coin Shop. So I started with Little Coin Shop many, many years ago. And it's numismatic based. It dealt with a lot of modern numismatics, but also some of the high-end numismatics. And we used to get requests for bullion as well. So people would buy a Holy Dollar, or they'd buy the latest Perth Mint release, or whatever it was. And then they'd also say, oh, look, I'm after an ounce of gold, or, you know, a few kilos of silver, or whatever it was. And we used to refer them to other dealers around the world that were bullion dealers, depending on which country they were in. We'd recommend them go to other places. Several years ago, we made a decision that we couldn't control the quality of the service that was being given by others. So we decided to bring it in-house, and instead of expanding Little Coin Shop into bullion, we actually set up Bullion Now. So Bullion Now's only been around for several years, 3-4 years, as its own standalone, but it actually operated within Little Coin Shop for probably 20 years prior to that. It has, as a shop, it's always been based out of the centre of Melbourne at 227 Collins Street. We are considering expanding it elsewhere. We haven't made that decision yet. COVID's making that a bit more of an interesting decision. But yeah, at this stage we are only in Melbourne, although we do have remote storage facilities as well. What was it like in the good old days? Look, I can go back to buying gold at $300 to $400 an ounce. So, funnily enough, I would say it was exactly like it is these days. People saying, how can gold, I'm not going to buy gold when it goes over $2,500 an ounce. I can distinctly remember having a conversation with someone who said there is no way anyone will ever pay more than $1,000 an ounce Australian for gold. Ever. Will never happen. And obviously now, if I advertised an ounce bar for $1,000, I think we'd be killed in a rush. So it hasn't changed. Times still continue on. And that's one of the advantages of gold, is it's stable. The environment is stable. The market is fairly stable. It trickles up. It comes down a little bit. It trickles up. It comes down a little bit. And it constantly keeps going. So there were some advantages in the good old days. We've talked about reporting requirements. We didn't have those back in the good old days with cash transactions, but we do now. Let's have a look. Loving the leopard print off to the side. Yeah, we moved that. It wasn't my flash shirt that I go out in, believe it or not, although someone accused me of something similar to that. It was actually a shopping bag. I don't know where it came from. So I'm slowly tidying my desk area. What else have we got in here? How much this is from STI Custom. How much does your free storage cut into your profit margin? I've heard you mention it before, plus you've said that the small purchase cut into your margin as well. Are we talking a minimal amount? It's a good one. I use your free storage to save on postal costs, which is exactly what you should be doing. And it's interesting, Dark Hearts has commented pretty much the answer I was going to give. The free storage is a deal sealer for me. It makes a difference knowing you can just make the purchase and stash it with Bullion Now till you want it. You can build it up over a few months. I would actually say it doesn't cut into our profit margin. I would say it actually increases our sales, if I'm completely honest. And I hope my competitors aren't watching this. Because it allows people to say, well, look, actually, I can buy, an ounce of silver today. I can buy an ounce of silver next week. I can buy 2 the week after, 1 the week after, 2 the week after that. I can build it up to a sizable amount and then pay for one postage hit or make one trip into Melbourne to go and pick it up rather than trying to come in once a week or have it sent out and pay $17.50 every week getting the 1 ounce sent out. So it allows more people to purchase from us. So I think actually, we've had to expand our storage area quite a lot because of it, because a lot of people take advantage of it. But I would actually argue it increases our profits because people can take advantage of it and buy those smaller purchases and build them up as and when they want. Okay, let's go on to one of the other videos. One of the popular ones was our 10 kilo gold coin. That was good fun. We got a lot of comments on that one. A lot of people were, I think, slightly jealous of the guy who bought it. But look, it was a stunning coin, and we often make comments on videos when we talk about kilo bars of gold, and we'll show one, or in the store where we'll show one, and that the chill that goes down your spine when you're holding a kilo bar of gold. And I can tell you it's on steroids when you're holding a 10 kilo pure gold coin. It's just something completely out of this world. So yeah, a lot of fun. So I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed that. Yay Cruiser, believe it or not, your comment was possibly my nightmare leading up to it, where you said, imagine they dropped it. I was so worried we were going to drop that coin.
If nothing else, the capsule. Imagine trying to replace that. Yeah, that would have been an interesting conversation with Perth Mint. Look, it wouldn't have been replaceable. So yes, I was very concerned about that. But yeah, mostly it looks like it was well received. I can't see any major comments other than that in there. All good comments on that one. So the platypus video, yes. So the 2 comments that or 3 comments that probably came out of that one was people loved it, and it's a beautiful design. If you haven't looked at it, if nothing else, go back and look at the design. Yes, I'll put a link above now.
Yeah, great. We sold out way too quickly. We got very limited numbers. I can only apologise for that. The 3rd comment I wanted to make on that one was some turkey out there is, I don't know, what do you call it? Copying our signing themselves in as Bullion Now and making junk mail comments.
Our copycat.
Yeah, I apologise for that to everyone else, and if the turkey could pull his head in, that'd be fantastic.
I've already blocked him, but
They seem to come back.
Yeah, so, use a bit of common sense when you're on these sort of sites. If it looks like it's not something that we'd put up, chances are it's probably not something we'd put up. So that was that one. The next one we had that I was going to comment on was the 2 kilo barrier reef turtle. If you haven't seen that video, strongly encourage you to go back and have a look at that one. The coin is something else. Beautiful design, absolutely beautiful, but it also highlights some of the techniques like the antiquing that they do on the face of the coin. Also the concaveness of it, how it scoops in or scallops in, and it actually almost brings particularly to the Queen side. And I know there's always a love-hate comments going on about whether the Queen should be on our currency or not, but take out that heat, look at the picture itself for the art behind it, and the fact that the antiquing and the scalloping in it actually brings it out to be almost a three-dimensional sculpture within the coin, and it really is just beautiful. So strongly encourage you to go back and have a look at it. The other comments that were kind of made in there is, how much was the coin? It's 2 kilos of silver, which is in Australian dollar terms is around about that $2,400 mark in Australian dollars at this moment. That coin sold for about $4,500 was recommended retail. So there was this tension of, why would I pay $4,500 for 2 kilos of silver? It's a whole new video in and of itself, is that why would I pay that extra premium above spot price or above what a bullion bar is worth? Why would I pay that much for a coin like this? And the reason is collectability. The reason is desirability and rarity and all those types of things. In a very brief comment, it's like saying the Mona Lisa is only worth the cost of canvas, paint, and a bit of wood. It's priceless. Now, obviously, that's an extreme, but it's the similar thing to this. You could say, well, it's only 2 kilos of silver. Yes, it is, but the artwork behind it and the design and its desirability. You don't pay scrap value for your car either. It's all the work that goes into it.
It's like Smithy's Bullion.
Absolutely.
Which we need to do a Smithy's Corner very soon.
We certainly do. I apologise on many levels to Smithy. Not only have we not done a Smithy's Bullion lately, but I actually owe him some silver, which I haven't sent up yet. I'm trying to get straight on that as soon as this video's done, mate. But we will get there. So a few goods. I love this comment from 3X Weldy. Nice ashtray. Expensive ashtray. I didn't quite know how to take that one. But yeah, good comment. I like that one. And then the last one, there's not too many comments on this one, but we can't go past it. That's the one we released 2 days ago, I think, which was the domino effect that we did with the silver bars.
Yes.
A lot of fun. Took Joe, wasn't me.
It took me all day. You knocked it over once.
I did.
We had 2 customers knock it over. Now, that's not their fault.
No.
But, no, it's not their fault, because I should have said, what's your thing? But it looks spectacular.
It does. If you have chance, go back and view that video. It was only a couple of days ago that was released. Put a link above, Joe.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks great. It was a lot of fun. It's probably something we should have done during lockdown while we were bored stiff, made one go all the way around the shop or something silly like that. But it's a lot of fun.
It was 110 kilos.
110 kilos, plus there was about 150 kilos of silver sitting in the corner beside it, which I don't know if anyone picked up on. And that was just it was a fun way of highlighting the fact that we've dropped the premium on our Perth Mint kilo bars. They've come right back. And it's one of those rare times, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for mentioning this, it's one of those rare times where you can actually buy a premium brand, a Perth Mint brand, at a cheaper price than we can actually source our locally produced bars. So grab it while you can. It's like buying a Porsche at Corolla prices.
Pretty much.
I'll probably get caned for that one, but you know what I'm trying to say with that one.
Sure.
So at this stage, unless Joe wants to pitch in with anything else, that's pretty much all I had.
Nope, that's an excellent, nearly 20-minute Michael's Mailbox.
That
is grand. We need to do a long one for the first one back in a few weeks. We'll do another one next week, I think. We'll do them a bit more regularly. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, that's it from me.
And from me too.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.